Welcome, everyone. Today, we're opening the file on something, well, really powerful. The name TATANKA.
That's the Lakota Sioux word for the American buffalo or bison, yeah.
Exactly. And we're diving into how one organization uses this really ancient symbol to build essentially a blueprint for a modern, sustainable civilization. Their whole mission revolves around it.
It's quite an approach, taking deep indigenous wisdom and applying it to today's problems. Our sources show they've identified 6 core pillars, things they see as absolutely essential, all symbolized by the buffalo.
Okay, what are they?
Well, first you've got diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, basically.
The foundation.
And then sort of building on that are unity, resilience, and environmental stewardship. It's a very holistic view.
And before we even unpack those, the source material itself starts with some real historical weight, doesn't it?
It does. It grounds everything in this deep respect. They open with a powerful quote from the Lakota chief Sitting Bull.
Which is?
The buffalo country should be left to us forever.
Wow. Yeah, that immediately tells you this isn't just about, an animal. It's about land, life, survival itself.
Exactly. That quote ties a people's fate and the environment's future, right, to TATANKA. The organization wants to translate that connection, that reverence, into, well, a global plan for action.
Okay, let's start with the first 3 then. Diversity, equity, inclusion. DEI. How does one animal species, even the buffalo, represent something as vast as human diversity? Seems like a stretch.
Well, it's how they frame it, which is fascinating. It's not just that buffalo lived across North America in different places.
Right.
They focus on the buffalo as an ecological engineer.
An engineer, what do you mean?
Think about its behavior. Its grazing isn't random. It prefers certain grasses. Its movements, trampling, even wallowing.
Wallowing, like rolling in the dust.
Exactly. Those dust baths scrape away vegetation, creating these little depressions. They collect rainwater.
Okay.
And those become microhabitats, little pockets for different plants, insects, amphibians to thrive.
So it's not just living in diverse places. It's actively creating diversity around it.
Precisely. It fosters coexistence.
Right.
It shows that real diversity isn't just putting up with difference. It's actively making space for others to flourish alongside you. It's co-creation.
That's a much richer way to think about it. Not just tolerance, but active support. Okay, what about equity? That feels even more abstract.
Yeah.
Justice, fairness from a buffalo.
This is where the cultural significance really comes in, according to the sources. For many Native American cultures, the buffalo wasn't just a source of food. It was life, the ultimate symbol of abundance.
Right.
But that abundance came from a profound sacrifice, the life of the buffalo itself.
The ultimate contribution, you could say.
Yes, and the equity piece comes from that. Shared sacrifice, demanding shared benefits, because the buffalo provided everything: food, shelter, tools, clothes for the whole community.
Oh, yeah.
The benefits had to be shared fairly, justly, to ensure everyone survived and prospered, regardless of who made the kill.
Ah, I see. So the distribution had to reflect the magnitude of the gift. It links prosperity directly to social balance, to harmony.
Exactly. It's a physical example of interconnectedness that basically demands fair treatment for everyone in the system. Natural balance requires social balance.
That makes sense. The taking of life required this profound, balanced response in managing those resources.
Yeah.
Okay, and that leads into inclusion.
Directly. The sources really hammer this home. The buffalo wasn't just part of life. For generations of plains tribes, it was life. Every single part of the animal was used. Nothing wasted.
Total integration.
The ultimate form of integration, yeah. So when this organization talks about inclusion through the buffalo lens,
They mean valuing everything, every perspective, every tradition that has proven its worth for survival.
exactly, it's about valuing all contributions because, historically, not doing so, that meant disaster, starvation, exposure. The buffalo's central role demands respect for those diverse, practical, life-sustaining traditions.
Okay, so DEI is built on this idea of adaptation, shared responsibility, and valuing all contributions. How does the organization then pivot to unity and resilience? Seems like a natural step.
It is. That historical necessity, the reliance on the buffalo, leads straight to understanding that survival depends on the whole group, the herd, which brings us to unity.
The herd mentality. But I imagine their take is a bit deeper than just stick together.
Oh, definitely. It's about collective responsibility. The sources talk about how a herd functions. In a blizzard, for instance, the strong bulls don't run. They face into the storm,
Right, protecting the others.
protecting the weaker ones, the calves who shelter behind them. It's not about individual glory. It's about communal strategy. Individual strength serving the collective good, protecting the vulnerable.
That really cuts against some modern ideas of every person for themselves. And the organization is pretty upfront about why this matters now, right?
Very upfront. They explicitly state that building a sustainable future means tackling global divisions head-on. They believe, and I'm quoting loosely here, that only love can conquer hate and fear, bring peace, and actually create a sustainable civilization.
Wow. That elevates unity from just like good teamwork to a moral imperative,
A spiritual necessity, almost, for global survival.
which tees up resilience perfectly.
Hmm.
Because that unity is what allowed both the buffalo and the people who depended on them to survive unimaginable challenges.
Absolutely. The story of the American buffalo is a story of resilience. You had, what, tens of millions, maybe 60
Something
million?
like that, yeah. Vast numbers.
And by the late 19th century, they were down to maybe a few hundred. Overhunting, habitat destruction, deliberate extermination policies, frankly. It was an existential threat, complete collapse.
Near annihilation. But they didn't disappear.
They didn't, and that's the core lesson. Conservation efforts, protection, and crucially, the stewardship of Native American tribes who kept small herds alive. It allowed the population to rebound. It's astonishing, really.
A symbol of the ability to adapt, to endure, even after catastrophe.
And the organization draws a direct line from that biological resilience.
Back to culture.
Yes.
Right.
They explicitly link the buffalo's comeback to the resurgence and, importantly, the revaluing of indigenous wisdom and culture today. Just as the buffalo bounced back, these ancient knowledge systems are surviving, reasserting their value in the modern world. Resilience isn't just hanging on, it's adapting, returning, being valued again.
This is where it feels like it scales up massively.
Yeah.
We take this model, the diverse, unified, resilient herd, and apply it to the whole planet. Environmental stewardship.
Right, because the buffalo isn't just big. Ecologically, it's critical. It's what they call a keystone species.
Okay, unpack that. What does keystone species actually mean in this context?
It means a species that has a huge effect on its environment, way bigger than you'd expect just from its numbers. If you remove it, the whole ecosystem changes dramatically, sometimes collapses.
So what does the buffalo do that's so important?
Well, several things. We mentioned the grazing. They prefer certain grasses, which lets other plants grow, boosting diversity.
Okay.
The wallowing creates water sources, vital for insects, birds, amphibians.
Right, the microhabitats.
Their dung fertilizes the soil, spreads seeds. Their hooves aerate the ground. They basically maintain the health and stability of the entire grassland ecosystem.
And the organization connects this specific ecological role to the huge global challenges we face now. They mentioned the population hitting 8 billion.
Yes, the implication is enormous. They argue that global sustainability, living with 8 billion people on the planet, requires us to, quote, practice at a global scale what we were taught many generations ago. Meaning learning the lessons of the buffalo, limitation, interdependence, the crucial role of every part of the system. In a crowded world, we have to apply that keystone principle everywhere, protect habitats, preserve biodiversity, because every connection matters. We have to see ourselves not as masters of nature, but as stewards, as part of the ecosystem.
So bringing it all together, what's the takeaway for us, for you listening? This TATANKA framework seems to weave together history, culture, science into a kind of ethical guide for action.
It really does. The buffalo becomes this powerful living symbol of how interconnected everything is. Unity, resilience, stewardship. They aren't just abstract ideas. They're principles embodied by this animal story.
And the mission, by using this symbol, hopes to encourage that kind of understanding.
Cooperation.
I think so. It moves beyond just philosophy. It gives concrete examples of survival, resurgence, and maybe points a way toward a more equitable and inclusive global future.
The organization ends its statement on a hopeful but urgent note. They call this moment a new dawn, and they use a Lakota expression, 𝗧𝗕ᗕ𝗕.
Right, 𝗑ᗕᗕᗕ. It means something like wake up or be powerful. It's a real call to action grounded in these principles, a demand for awareness and for strength.
And tying it right back to the source, Sitting Bull, they leave you with this final thought, something really provocative about our place in the world. Yeah, think about this quote. It really underpins everything. It is through this mysterious power that we too have our being. and we therefore yield to our neighbors, even to our animal neighbors, the same right as ourselves to inhabit this vast land.
Yielding rights even to our animal neighbors. And then that ultimate call for working together, something for all of you to consider in your own lives, your work. Let us put our minds together and see what life we can make for our children.
That's the real test, isn't it? Resilience, unity, guided by the wisdom of the TATANKA.